Hey, what's going on, guys? It's White Gaming back again with some more Generation Zero. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully we're all good and are having a great day. Today what we're going to be doing is looking at the new locations in the Forest region. Now the Forest region has had a slight revamp, mainly the city of Ostovik, which is in the bottom left hand corner. There's some pretty cool nifty stuff and just some very little changes as well that are around the city. If you go out, take your time, have a look, it really completes the feel of it being an urban combat zone and people fighting for their homes. It's really, really cool. The devs have put a lot of work into the city and I absolutely love it. If you are a fan of Generation Zero, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump in, I'll show you some of these funky ass locations. So the first place we are going to look at today is the IGA Facility, which is right at the bottom hand. So the first place we're going to look at today is the IGA Facility, which is right at the bottom of the Forest region, just to the right of the main city. It's absolutely massive, and I haven't really been here all too much other than the missions that are in the main storyline. So it's definitely been around about 2 years since I've really come and had a nice little play about here. There used to be a lot of machine spawns here, but there's not really that much now. Although it has changed so much with this recent update, it actually looks like it was a workable factory and there was a lot going on before the attack happened and before the machines took over the whole area. So now it just feels right. Beforehand it was a bit empty. Other than the odd machine spawn, there wasn't really too much going on here. Now there's so much to look at and it feels like a real facility. Let's go in and have a little bit of a closer look. So at the entrances now, this side and the one all at the other side, they are actually barricaded and looks like there's been some defensive positions going on here. They've tried to hold back the machines for as long as they possibly could. So if you don't know, the location is just here. It is absolutely massive. So this whole area is the IGA Facility. And then just down here is the other entrance. So there's a safe house and just loads of houses here, which you would assume is housing for the workers of the facility. But it's really, really cool now. There's a lot of changes that have gone into it. And it just makes it feel so much more alive. But they've got barricades at both entrances with tanks and sandbags, a lot of soldiers. Obviously, this place produces gas. Could be fuel for vehicles, could be fuel for power stations. It could itself be a power station or have sort of power station elements to it. And obviously, the last thing you want to go down is the power. You need power to the people. It is a beautiful place that is really cool with so many little intricate details that have changed. So we jump up here, you can get a bit of a better look around. I love, though, this bit. I'll show you just now. The petrol station on the dock. How damn cool is that? Absolutely love it. Even got a soldier up here. What's he got? He's got the AK. Ah, yes. The beautiful AI-76. So whoever was here definitely made a last stand. But this bit before was bare. It was empty. There wasn't really anything here. Now you've got the trucks for Benzo. I don't know if that actually is a company or anything like that, but they're quite cool. A lot of the trucks as well, you can just search the cabs and some of them in the backs. Now, another thing that has changed is these here. These look like cooling pipes, hence the water and it dropping right down. Some sort of cooling anyway. Obviously, water is a cheap cooling material, keeps everything nice and frosty. Loads of little toolboxes and stuff dotted around as well, so it's a great place for loot. It will take you a hell of a long time to actually loot the place, but there is a lot of loot like dotted all around the whole place. If you've not been as well, there is a bunker over there, which leads out just down that direction there. Comes out about here between the safe house and the actual main gates for the facility. But I do love this. I'd love to get a machine over here and drop them in the water. But unfortunately, from what I've seen so far, there aren't really any machine spawns. And then you can run further in. There's a lot of detail to it. I'm not going to show everything. Obviously, you want to come and have a look. Check it out for yourself. It is beautiful. There's so many cool things here. But now there's loads of trucks, loads of loading that's going on. Vehicles and stuff have always been here. There's been a few vehicles dotted around here and there. A lot of these buildings you can actually go in as well, which is another great source of loot. We just follow it around. Oh, we actually do have a machine spawn. Not anymore. But it's a great source. And then we are just coming up on the secondary entrance just around here. I don't know, actually. This may be the primary entrance. So you swing around here. And then, here we go. We have another area of a last stand. You've got the tank there. And then, as you come down here, there's more barricades and then loads of soldiers. It's just cool. It's like they've actually tried to keep this place running right up until the last minute. It's a beautiful place. There's so much loot here. There's loads of little intricate details as well as you go all the way around the pipes that flow into different areas, and you can get inside a vast majority of the buildings. You can't go inside the whole of, say, this big building here, but you can get into little office bits of certain ones. So it's a cool place to come for loot, and I think it would be really cool if there was more machines here, though. That's one thing that I don't like about it. There's not enough machines. But here we have a little unassuming house, just with some barricades around it. But this place is brilliant, and it ties in to something that is also on Himfile, and something that did come to the farmlands as well. There are a few locations that tie into this one, and that is because this is an Iron Church base. Now, if you don't know who the Iron Church are, they have the church on Himfile that's underground. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It's a cool location. I'll put the link to it in the description down below. You can go check that out. It's quite cool. But here is brilliant. Another thing that really gets me is not so much the Iron Church that gets me about this place. It's the barricades that are around it. This really, really gets me hopeful for future base building elements and being able to fortify structures that are out in the actual world. Obviously, we don't want to be able to fortify absolutely everything that's out there. Imagine the amount of resources we need to collect. But just being able to fortify certain locations would be really cool. Not just an open field, if you know what I mean. Like the Bjornet Hotel, where we actually surrounded that, put stuff over the windows, that kind of stuff, but more as a free build. I think that'd be really cool. So this place is defended to the nuts. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. So many walls. I love how they've got the little shooting platforms as well. It's really, really cool. It looks awesome. It obviously has worked. The machines didn't get too far, and the ones that did, they've put in a pile and just burnt to a crisp. But as you wander around this place, a big thing that is with the Iron Church is obviously weights. As you can see here, they've got the makeshift weight benches, the irons. Where does it say? You can't see it very clearly on that one. Let me just have a quick look over here. There we go. Iron Church. You can see it a bit better on that one. There's a few more that you can see it really well on. But I love like the whole build of this. It's brilliant. You've got little lookouts everywhere as well, which is even better. And then inside the house, it's insane. There's so many cool things. So we've got some more weights and stuff over here as well. Like big boy weights. I say weights, these are just tires, but tires weigh a lot, man. Well, wheels weigh a lot. And as you come into here, there's even more stuff. It looks like a proper cult. The Iron Church is if you want to know like real intricate details about the Iron Church, 100% recommend checking out Tenebrous' videos on them. There you go. You can see it very clearly on there, the Iron Church. This location is so cool. There's some more stuff upstairs as well. I love, though, that they are sort of branching out and moving further and further into the mainland. I would love to be able to get in here. I want to know what's in this room so bad. But judging by all the toothbrushes and there's a lot of people here. I mean, like, a lot. There's a lot of food as well that they've been storing. I'd love to get into further bits of this house. I love this as well. I like the overseer's chair. Just sits up here and guides people when there's a fight going on. Tells you where you need to be going and who's shooting from what positions. It's a cool location. A very cool location. So this one I like to call the party barn or the hippie barn, either or. I think it's really cool that at the end of the world, these guys have still decided they want to party. I like that, right? I'm not going down fighting. I'm going down drunk. Why not, eh? Each to their own. It's a beautiful place. It's so cool. There's not really anything special about it. There's no loot or anything like that. I just think the idea behind it is really cool. Even if this wasn't happening at the end, I just like this idea of how it's just a big social... There's so many words. I don't really know how to describe it, but inside, it is like a proper party. So they've got a little makeshift stage there with the instruments, which I really love. Cowbells, guitars, the sax. The only thing that's missing is the drums, really. And then, obviously, the little sofa. It's like a British pub with a little makeshift bar. Makeshift stage, sorry. A little corner sofa with some tables, and then the bar at the back corner there. I love it. I think it's like some dude had a barn, and he was like, do you know what? I'm not going to use that for a farm or anything funky. I'm going to turn that into a nice little place where everyone can come for a piss up. But I love it. It's just like a really social place. And then you can't get in the house, which is unfortunate. I'd love to be able to get into the house, because it just looks like, I don't know what this is, whether this is some sort of game or something, but there's so many little things going on around here that are really cool. And you've got the little swinging chairs out the front, where everyone wants to sit if they want some peace and quiet, or they've just thrown up and want to pass out on it. Then the tray with the beers. It's just a nice little thought that the world was going to shit, but people were still having fun. I mean, why not, right? This bit, I think, it makes me laugh so much. The two wheelbarrows. There's a finish line here, so at first glance for me, the only thing I could think of was these wheelbarrows were transport for very, very drunk people, and their wives took them home in a wheelbarrow. But then seeing a line, it does make me think that this is like a little racetrack that they would go through and have loads of fun. I mean, if there are any Swedish people that watch, please, if these are like common games or there's something behind this, let me know. I'm intrigued. Very intrigued. Next up, we have the what I like to call the red light district. Now, the red lights in the windows, obviously, Amsterdam, you know what that means, the red light district. That was my first thought when I saw this place. And going inside, I don't know whether that's confirmed it or whether it's just something really strange. I'm really not 100% sure. It's a bit confusing. Let's go in and we'll have a little bit of a look. It's quite a cool little place. There's obviously loads of cars outside, so it's definitely something social, which just, it points to the fact of, you know, red light even more. There's a little barn out the back here, well, the shack, but you can't get in it, which is really disappointing. I hate that there's so many things we can't get in. I just want to get in everything. And let's go in through the front of the house. Obviously, you can see the two red lights at the front there. The whole house is red. It's very, very strange. It looks very exotic. See, this definitely just the beer bottles, the cigarettes, the ashtray, the speakers is definitely some sort of social thing. Whether it is a brothel or but seeing this here makes me think it's some sort of, you know, exclusive gentleman's club, which you pay top dollar to get into and gives you access to it. So all the curtains makes it look pretty. And then you've just got random things. So there's the toilet. Look, you've got medkits on a plate. This place must be insane. You know, medkits on a plate. There's drugs. So there's no, like, white lines anywhere. So it's definitely not that high profile. When we go upstairs, it's even weirder. And it's even redder. Redder? I don't know if that's a word. More red. There's a door there as well, which is really disappointing because you can't get in it. You can't actually open it. The curtains are in the way. I'd love for the curtains to be able to move and you actually be able to get in. I don't understand that as well. That's very confusing. Just the random tires on the wall. And then inside here, we've got tea trays. More cigarettes. And then just a random chair staring at a wall. Which I don't understand. I don't get why it's here. It's very confusing. With the two plant pots. So we can shoot the plant pots, but nothing really happens. It's very weird. And you can shoot a lot of stuff in here and move it about, but not really anything happens. It's very strange. It is a really weird little place. It's quirky, but it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Definitely come and check it out. Loot-wise, there's quite a little bit of loot here as well. It's not massive. It's not game-changing, but there's a good chunk. So this location is a little bit different. It's not really quirky, and you might not actually notice where I am right now. We are still just in the bottom left-hand corner of the city. If you know where that is, then you'll know it's the football fields. This place is awesome. It is massive. There is loads of cool stuff here. And I mean loads of machines. So it spans this whole area here. But it has had a complete rework. The whole thing. There is so much loot here. So many machines here. It's a really nice place to just come and have a little bit of a run around, shoot a load of machines, blow off some steam, and get some good loot. The really nice thing about this place now is they've added quite a few buildings and little areas to add that extra loot in. And it does make combat quite fun. So you've got the little shacks here, the little stores. Some of these are already here, but they've sort of revamped the way round it's gone. It's like a full-on activity center type thing, like a community area, more than anything now. You've got the little stage there. It doesn't beat Hillbilly stage, but it's a good stage, nonetheless. And also down here now, what they've done is that, what's the word? Is it a maypole? I might be way off there. I'm not 100% sure. And what they've also done is added a load of fences around here now as well, so it sort of separates the area. Whereas beforehand, if you were running along that road, you would end up coming into contact and combat with a lot of the big guys that are here. There's normally at least one harvester and one tank. Myself, with my luck, I end up coming across at least 2 harvesters and a tank and a shite ton of hunters. But they've added all these little areas here, so these have all got bags in. So much loot. There is loot absolutely everywhere. And a little bit further down here, thing that really stood out to me was these bits. So these blocks have always been here, but they've upgraded the internals. The internals look so cool now. Actually looks like a football pitch and a play area, because they've got the shower blocks here, the locker rooms, and then the lockers down here. That one's the same over there. It's just really smart. It's tiny, tiny details that just make areas so much better. Still, you've got all the fencing going around, so it just really helps you out in the combat. Stops you getting your ass handed to you completely. If you don't want to fight them as well, you can always run away. Then a little bit further down here, which wasn't here before, there's an actual campground as well, which is really, really cool. You find these dotted around all over this region now, and they're just smart little things. There's nothing too much to them, but they are absolutely full of loot and very intricate details. So you come on in here, you've obviously got the bunk beds, and obviously loot, lots and lots of loot, the little boxes full of supplies, and each one is different as well. I've not come across 2 that are the same. It's just really good little intricate details. This must be like the bosses. There's not many beds in this one. I've searched all of these ones already, so there's not much loot in them now, but there's so much stuff. I come away with so much. Now this one's my favourite though, because the beds are different colours. They've got the sleeping bags down there. There's a few people in here. This may have been like a last stand, because I'm pretty sure there was a shotgun in here. I may have picked it up, but there was a rifle in that one, which is pretty cool. And you just got a little supply shack there, and obviously, for when you've got a really big turd and you need to chop it up, you've got an axe next to the dunny. It's beautiful. I just love the little details that they've put into some of these little camps. Obviously the car park as well, which is another absolutely brilliant source of loot. Cars are amazing. If you want loads and loads of toolboxes and bags, definitely come to Ostervik, because there's so many cars here. So many cars equals so much loot. But it's a cool little area, nice little place. It's not, like I said, it's nothing spectacular, but those small details just make it so much better than what it was. And every improvement to the game, in my eyes, is a bonus, no matter how small. So just this little detail is brilliant. It makes it just feel much more real, rather than just some fields and some goalposts and 2 little shacks. So much better. So there's a few cool little details that are dotted around the city as well, and I just think they're not like you'd walk past them and you wouldn't really think anything of a lot of them, but I think they're really cool, and it just shows the creativity of the devs as well. This here, as you can see, is a barricade, but it's not just a barricade. This is where the resistance was fighting. These guys were fighting for their homes, and it shows that all over the city. There's loads of random little pockets where the resistance were held up, and you can spot certain things around them, like little briefing areas where the resistance may have had their meetings and talked about where the best place to ambush things are. And alongside that, there's loads of little they're not campsites, but little lookouts and little hidey holes. It's really subtle, but it's really cool. You may remember, like, in the last update that we had, they put a load of stuff up over here, on top of the actual tower blocks. And there's just some tents and things like that. But now there's loads of other random little bits dotted around, like the barricades that we've just seen there. And these little things here. So little makeshift sort of steps and jumpy bits. Oh, there's a little bit of parkour required, but you can get there eventually. And these are all over the city, and they lead to little camps like this, or just something as simple as a little chair with a pair of binoculars and a rifle next to it. It's something so small, but it's a really cool detail, and you may miss a lot of them, but they're there, and they're beautiful little details. It's really, really cool. I like how they've done it. So that is a few locations in the forest region, more specifically Ostavik, that you should definitely check out. A lot of them are really good for loot, and a lot of them are just creepy. I would recommend checking some of them out at night as well. If you've checked them out in the day, go around at night. Night in this game completely changes the experience, and it really is quite cool. Now, next week, we'll be back with Generation Zero videos on a Saturday. I'm thinking of upping back to 2 GZ videos a week from now on. I've just got to figure a few things out, but keep an eye on the community tab. I will put a post on there, same as on my socials with the new schedule. I'm hoping that we can get back to streaming as well within the next few weeks, maybe start of March, mid-March. We're just going to see how the little one plays out with his time clock, whether he starts to sleep. At the moment, he wakes up around 8 o'clock in the evening and then is awake until about midnight. So we'll see what happens. If hopefully he starts to sleep at that time, and then wakes up about 10 o'clock, and then stays awake for a couple of hours, and then goes back to sleep. But we'll see anyway. Whatever happens, happens. Hopefully we can start latest end of March. But either way, keep an eye on the socials, and I'll let you guys know with that one. Check the socials out. They are in the link in the description. There's daily content across all platforms from Wired. So, thank you everybody for watching. I've been awesome. I've been awesome, and you've been wired. You've been wired. Oh, I've done it again. I've been wired, and you've been awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all very soon with some more Generation Zero.